George Miller III is a visual merchandiser and a wardrobe consultant for Grady Irvin on King Street. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down with George one-on-one. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores.
Well, George, it is so good to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
I appreciate this. You know, the last time I saw you was Saturday, and I told you I'll be interviewing you today.
Correct.
And many months ago, you, I guess, almost chased me down King Street and said, hey, I want to do an interview with you. So here we are.
Not a problem at all. I'm ecstatic at the fact that I'm here. I see what you're trying to do in the community, bringing people together, so it's a pleasure to even be in your presence.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate this.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me take you to your Instagram page.
Okay.
This is the bio of you, and it says this: George Miller, wardrobe consultant, visual merchandising. Dream your dreams with your eyes closed. Live your dreams with your eyes wide open. Tell me, what dreams are you actually dreaming right now with your eyes closed?
Well, there's a lot of things that run through my mind. I have more of a visual presence, and I believe you would have to see it, then believe it, then achieve it. So first, you have to make sure you're able to see what your dreams are. So you have to do it with your eyes closed. But as you open them, you want to start to live it and bring it to fruition.
Right.
And that's where that came from.
Wow.
Yeah.
And let me go back to that. Live your dreams with your eyes wide open. So what are you living right now as far as your dreams wide open?
Well, you know, I have a presence in the clothing industry. So being able that I can go ahead and speak volumes through clothing and the way that I carry myself based on my characteristics, I think that I'm living my dream every day. Every day is a new start. You be full of ambition, and you want to move forward and do the things that you need to do that's necessary to go ahead and live those dreams to the most of it's, I would probably say, to the highest expectation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. And I went to your LinkedIn profile as well. It says this: George Miller III, Grady Irvin Company, and classic clothiers to gentlemen, wardrobe consultant, and visual merchandising. Obviously, you are a household name when it comes to Grady Irvin Company. Tell me, who is George Miller?
Well, I'm full of exuberance, that's for sure. I believe when I wake up in the morning, I have to give thanks to God that allowed me to be able to walk on my own 2 feet, stand on my own 2 feet, be in my right mind and acceptable in my sight. Now the rest of that is up to me. 10% has been given to me. So 90% of what I do on a day-to-day basis is based on what I do with it. And I try to do the best that I can while I can in the field that I'm in. It's a very tough market while we're doing what we're doing, but when I see a customer, that's an opportunity for me to go ahead and fulfill something I like to do. Every day I get up and walk throughout the days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And let me go to that summary on your LinkedIn profile, because you just touched on it a little bit. And it reads this: I do my research.
Go ahead.
More than 10 years working for retail establishments, including service as wardrobe consultant and sales associate, recognized for delivering unparalleled customer service, a verifiable track record of success backed by impeccable references. 10 years to right now, what is the biggest difference between wardrobe consulting and sales in your mind?
Well, I started out at Rangoni shoe store. I was just basically selling shoes, handbags, and men's shoes. Well, handbags would be women's, and men's would be shoes as well. And then I was recruited by Bob Ellis, worked there for a small period of time.
Wow.
I'd say 3.5 years. Then there was an economic downturn in 2007.
Right.
Went to put in an application at Ralph Lauren, and I worked 2 years at Ralph Lauren in Charleston, and I moved forward to the store in Atlanta, which was a flagship store in Atlanta, for 3.5 years in there. So I came back home, and I'm in my 5th year at Grady Irvin. But what happened with me is I learned a lot about myself. And just like I said before, every day is a different day, and every day is a new expectation. So I hope that answered your question.
Oh, yeah.
Based on what I grew to learn throughout the years of me being on King Street, I don't think there's no corridor in the southeast that is compatible to where I'm at. So that's why I say I'm unparalleled when it comes to service.
Let me stop you there. You say King Street. Obviously, there's a lot of changes going on there, as you see, from Upper King Street to Lower King Street right now. What does King Street mean to you?
Well, this is where I grew up. And it speaks for itself. It's pretty much, you know, when you look at the southeast, everybody says, oh yeah, that's southern hospitality. And, you know, they're different. Some people even would say we're slow. But it's amazing everybody in the country wants to come here. So when you think of King Street, you see the independent owners who have their own way of doing things. You see a genre of the food and beverage industry.
Right.
The home decor
Right.
industry is booming. You look at weddings as far as destination.
Right.
I don't count Vegas because that's something that's someplace you would elope. It's an old terminology.
Of course.
So when you think in terms of a destination, you think of Charleston, and that's number one. So there's a lot to be said about King Street in itself and the things that it attract, the people that comes through it on a day-to-day basis. So when you think of King Street, it is just something special to say that you shopped or visit or even to eat anywhere on the peninsula here in Charleston, South Carolina.
You talk about Charleston, South Carolina. This is home.
Correct.
And I know that you went to Burke High School, where I went. I'm class of 2004.
Okay.
But tell me, who was George Miller as a student?
That's funny. Of course, I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. This is probably something that I won't repeat.
Okay.
But, I used to have I had a career in rapping.
What?
Yeah, hip hop career.
Oh my.
So when I got there, I was this cool, witty guy, but then they found out that I was a lyricist and I could rap, and then I became an entertainer, and an entertainer almost caused me not to even come out of high school because I took it too serious. But you know, education is key. You change your mindset and you do the best you can to move forward. So if there's anything I can express to the young kids is that sometimes when your parents are a little bit hard on you, it's time to do your homework or any type of schoolwork, you have to make sure that education is one of the key principles to get further in life. Because I feel as though, you know, if I took that career path and took my education a little bit more serious when I was in high school, the platform that I'm on now would have been shortened by at least about 10 years.
Wow. Let me take you to your Facebook page. I just saw it sitting down doing the research. But it says this on your bio. It says this, quote, I may never know what my future holds, but I know who holds my future. I'm that Jim. So who holds your future in your mind?
God holds my future. I couldn't do nothing without him. I mean, that's a blessing in itself.
Sure.
I believe that the first thing you have to do is give thanks to God, then your family,
Sure.
and then your career.
Right.
When I speak in family, that's a broad term because there's a lot of friends I got out there that I consider family too.
Right.
So, you know, those are the three things that are important to me. Anything else that comes behind that just have to fall in line. But most importantly, he holds my career and I couldn't do nothing without him.
Wow.
I couldn't even be where I'm at right now without him.
Okay.
So I make sure I give all my honor and my praises to him,
That's
to my
right.
Lord and my Jesus Savior Christ.
Exactly right.
That's right.
And you're right about that. Write the headline. George Miller III will do what next?
My next move? That's funny. There's a lot of things I like to do, but you know, you have to create a vision board.
Oh, yes.
You write down your vision. And I got this thing where I like to say, if you shoot for the moon, you fall among stars. So you write down whatever you want to do in life as a career goal. and never sell yourself short. You can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it, but you just have to have enough faith to go out and get it. Because if you believe it, you can receive it, and then you can achieve it.
Wow.
And that's how I feel about it.
Let me reset, because obviously, whenever I see you, I always take you seriously, because you're really like the face of King Street when I think of you.
You're far, far too kind. Far, far too kind. Well, go ahead.
I think he is. But, okay, beyond fashion and sales and, design, who is George Miller III?
I'm a guy that probably would give the coat off my back to the next person. I don't have a whole lot to give,
Okay.
but the little bit I got that I'll give. If it's wisdom that based on experience, I can give it. If it's money, sometimes that I don't have,
Okay.
I'm willing to share it.
Okay.
Anything I can possibly give to go ahead and see a smile on someone's face, I make sure I give it to the best of my ability. And that, to me, is important.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think about several things, but there's this saying that, if you talk about what you do, you're really not being genuine about it. So there's a lot of things that I do that is unsaid, and I can see based on the person's reaction how appreciative they are when I do give things out to them, whether it's wisdom, breakfast, lunch, dinner, clothing, and know that it's well received.
Wow.
So the things that I do I won't talk about, simply because if I were to talk about them, they wouldn't be genuine.
Wow. Very powerful.
That's how I see it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, George Miller III, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate this.
Yes, sir.
Anytime.